Come
enough.
to Rosanna's. If you know anyone that's like gluten-free,
Mm-hmm.
or has like dairy allergies, it is an Italian restaurant that specializes in gluten-free,
Nice.
which is hard for gluten-free people to ever go to an Italian
Right.
restaurant
So
and ever eat
Rosanna's,
something. Yeah, it's
and that's
beautiful. It's a
where.
beautiful place. 23 Dove Street. So we're in Center Square
Okay.
neighborhood. So it's like the street down from Lark. So it's parallel to Lark Street. So Lark's
Mm-hmm.
here and Dove is the next one. So if you're
Okay.
headed downtown,
Yeah.
just for context.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful little area. It looks like Brooklyn. I've always loved that area to
Uh-huh.
me. It always,
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
brownstones and
Yep. Oh, I know what you're talking. Yep. And so
yep,
and I know you have vegan options on the Hollows menu, right?
I do.
And then
Yes, so
on
we have
Rosanna's,
yes, we have Rosanna's, and then we have Subculture Vegan Deli and
right.
Provisions. So that's up on Lark Street.
How long have you been a vegan?
Well, I'm not vegan actually, so that's the
Oh,
interesting thing. I'm vegetarian.
okay.
I do eat vegan a lot, but I'm not vegan.
Okay.
Uh, what my goal was here, when we first moved here, there was just really nothing that I could eat. I've been vegetarian since I'm
Mm-hmm.
29, so it's
Okay.
19 years now. And I think you remember, like, I was a big steak person. Like, that's what I ate all the time. Just all I ate was steak. Steak and potatoes. That was how I
Yeah.
grew up.
Yeah.
And so when I changed my diet, being in New York, it's just so much easier. There's everything. It's just more
Yeah.
mainstream.
Yeah.
Even 20 years ago, it was more mainstream.
Yes, definitely.
Here it wasn't. And when we
No.
first moved up here, it's like there was really nothing that I could eat. And so that was the motivation to bring in like a lot of
Yeah.
vegetarian food. So initially I tried to bring in a lot of vegetarian food. And then after COVID, so we were closed for about 6 months. And then when we had our meetings for the reopening, I said,
Hmm.
listen, it's not going to cut it anymore. Vegetarian just doesn't cut it. It has to be vegan because it's
Yeah.
easier, quote unquote, right, to work with dairy.
Yeah.
And I don't have anybody that is in my kitchen that went to like a culinary school that was plant-based. Like they don't know
Hmm.
how to make this kind of food.
Yeah.
So it's been a learning curve for everyone. But that's really why we introduced vegan food, but also what I really wanted was a vegan counterpart to all of our meat-based items. And
Mm.
we're almost there. We
Wow.
really are. So if you wanted mozzarella sticks, you can also get them vegan. So you
Nice.
can come to our restaurant with your like crunchiest vegan friend, and you both can find something that you're going to be happy with.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, like vegetarian people and vegan people, we just don't want to eat lettuce. Like we're not
Yeah.
rabbits.
Yeah.
We want to eat satiating, interesting, flavorful food too. And
Yeah.
I felt for so long, so many restaurants were doing themselves a disservice
Hmm.
because they're missing out on this demographic. And it's not even vegan and vegetarian people, there's so many dietary allergies today.
Yeah.
You can't
Oh my
get away
gosh.
from it.
It's crazy.
There's lactose, there's all kinds of nut allergies,
Yep.
gluten, and you have to be
Hmm.
able to accommodate people because
Hmm.
that's people's families. Like we get tons of family celebrations because it's too difficult for the host to like prepare a
Yeah.
million different types of
Yep.
things. So they come to us,
That's
even
great.
for, weddings and all kinds
Hmm.
of dinner party showers,
Hmm.
things of the
Yeah.
sort, because we can
Yeah.
accommodate.
That's really cool.
And you just have to be willing to like honestly shift and pivot,
Yeah.
as much as I hate that term because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
As much as I hate that pivoting, that's all you heard
Yes.
throughout the thing, it was terrible. But
So what made you go from having steak all the time to vegetarian?
okay, interesting story. So this is another one. You would be like, I'm never asking her again to be on my podcast because she comes up with the craziest stuff. Like these stories are ridiculous. And also probably controversial, right? So
Sorry.
I'm so no, so I'm at UBS. I was rather new there. I was a consultant, and in their marketing department, and I was working with their designers, and they have lunch every day, like around 12:30, something like that.
Mhm.
And there's like a company cafeteria because they don't want you to leave. They want you to stay put. And so we were all eating there. And I remember eating a buffalo chicken wrap. That's what I purchased. And I sat down and I'm eating my food, whatever. And they're all chit chatting. And they're talking about this article that one of them read about a sex farm out in Washington State.
Okay.
And yeah, a sex farm.
I don't
And
know what that means. Okay.
apparently, I know, and nor do I ever, never wanted to know that this existed. And I'm sorry to even share it.
It's okay.
Yeah, that people would go there and pay
Oh,
to
no,
sod
now I know.
and rape
Oh,
the animals, mostly goats and sheep because they're so docile.
this
You
is in
know, they were,
Washington State?
yeah. And this was 20 years ago. And I hope
Right.
all that doesn't
Go
happen,
on,
but I'm
please.
sure it does in the world. But anyway, so they were all laughing and
Oh,
making
no.
jokes like goat, Fucker, and, saying all
Oh,
these
yeah.
things. It was just like,
Ugh.
I felt so sickened by it, like
Yeah.
my spine. I
Yeah.
was, I couldn't even help it. And I stood up and I holding my little chicken wrap. And I said, I really don't find this entertaining and I don't find that funny. And I can't believe that you're even laughing at such a thing. And I just stomped off. I
No.
walked off.
No.
I
Yeah.
left. I lost my appetite, obviously. And I put down my tray in like the area that you put your trays down. And I went back to work. And one of the ladies had come up to me and she felt really badly. She's like, "Hey, I just wanted to come check on you. Are you okay? And I know you got really upset." And I said, "Yeah." I said, I don't know where that came from. I was just really just disgusted and horrified by it. And she's like, why don't you go on? You should go on to PETA's site. They do so much like animal, blah, blah, blah,
Mhm.
rescues and advocacy. And she wasn't a PETA person whatsoever. So she just mentioned it to me. I'm like,
Mhm.
all right, I'll go on to PETA. And
Mhm.
you go on to PETA, and that's it. I just like went
That
down the
was it.
rabbit hole.
Yeah.
That was it. I watched a few things. I'm good. I will never eat that again. And that was the last piece of meat I ate was that buffalo chicken wrap.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that was it. And then I just voraciously like read as much information
Mhm.
as I possibly could. And what really cemented it for me was The Food Revolution by John Robbins. And he was the benefactor of the Baskin Robbins empire. His father was
Mm.
Robbins. So, which is an ice cream, which is dairy,
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
his entire life is funded by the exploitation, right, of cows.
Yeah.
So he turned vegan and wrote this 500-page book. And I think it just had its like 25th
Oh,
anniversary
wow.
edition or 30th or something. It's been around for a really, really long time, broken up into these 5 different parts. There's like agriculture, there's the animal aspect of it, it's the health aspect of it. And I've just learned so much information. It's like once and then you have to make a decision based on what knew. And I just didn't feel good anymore eating the way that I was.
Yeah.
Um, and so I needed to make a change, and it did. It changed my whole life, just that one
Yeah.
lunch.
Yeah.
If I didn't
Wow.
go to that lunch,
Yeah.
my whole life would be
Be
different
different.
today.
Wow.
Likely, I would still be
Definitely.
eating meat. I don't know if I would have had any restaurants, nor would they have had this kind of these menus. And I think
Mhm.
that the work, as much as I feel bad about having meat on my menu, I can't change the world.
Right.
And if I can introduce plant-based foods that are delicious, it could sway someone on
Yeah.
our team even a
Yeah.
little bit, even if we could lean into it, even if it's just
Mhm.
like one meal every single week.
Right. Right.
That's what helps you. It better for your body, better for our planet,
Yeah.
better for the animals. You're lessening cruelty, and it's just more good vibes that are out
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah.
that's
It's
how
great.
that's how I live with myself.
Yeah.
That's what I
No,
do,
that's
so
great. I think that's great. I think it's realistic, you know?
yes, and you can't browbeat people into
No.
it, you know?
Yeah.
It does not work, and, you just offer it, and you make a suggestion, and
Yeah.
you see
Yeah. I think
so
that's great.